Oh, good morning, everyone. It is 10 o'clock in Colorado here, so it's another edition of Long's Coffee Break. Today I have Jason Kinney with me from Custom Energy Loops. He's going to be talking about a new line that we picked up and that we're really excited here at Long about as a glycol energy recovery loop solution. And with that, I'll hand it over to Jason.
Awesome. Thanks, Nick. Appreciate you guys having me today. First long coffee break I've done. I like the concept, and we're going to learn some stuff today. So let's bust into it. So as Nick said, I'm general manager with Custom Energy Loop and Custom Air Handling Solutions, or CHS and CEL. I'll touch just briefly on Custom Air Handling Solutions, just in how we fit into this part of the package today. But today we're going to talk about our high performance energy loop, or typically known as a glycol energy loop, depending on your terminology. So the one thing to focus on is the word custom. As custom as I am sitting in Michigan. We have a plant in Michigan. We have a plant in North Carolina. We build coils out of Arkansas. Each one of those climates are custom and different, no different than you folks in Colorado. So we need a product that'll fit everything and every place that we tend to go. So what we're going to see today is a couple of different layouts of our custom package and what we can offer. It's definitely not a catalog type product. We can mix and match and do some different things with it that I'll show you today, and really get your creative ideas going on what we can provide. This is just a simple pump package here, VFD per pump. We've got options to add supplemental heat via a plate and frame heat exchanger. We also do all of the coils that come in this package and kind of describe to you on how that package looks and how that works today. Full controls, factory controls as well. We are a UL 508A facility shop in North Carolina, and you'll see some of those options and pictures here this morning. One of the other benefits to being custom and having our custom air handling product and the options of kind of blending the two is we can also take these systems and put them up on a roof, therefore adding space to your mechanical room, getting it out of your mechanical space and up onto the roof, while obviously keeping it in a nice weatherproof enclosure, adding modular chillers where there's a heat recovery chiller. Maybe there's a boiler in this system that we need to add. Any type of custom options from the facade and how it looks. We can really get dialed in on some fun and crazy options to really make what you want for your project and for your space, and not really settle on, well, this is what they offer, so this is what I have to get type situation. In the custom nature, there's also a ton of flexibility on just the layouts alone. You can look at a couple of options that we've got where we can break them down into sections to fit through man door, to fit through double doors. Maybe there's a spot in the building that's opened up through a louver that we have to fit through. So being able to take any of these packages, find a way to break them down and really minimize the work that needs to be done in the field, we can provide those options as well. So these are the three components that we're going to look at for the custom energy loop, and that consists of the hydronic module that we'll look at first, the custom air handling unit down here, and then just the simple heat recovery unit, or ERU or HRU, depending on what you guys like, up at the top. So just a simple look at the one line. Again, this had a 4-pump package to it, 4 pumps over here on the right, expansion tanks, air separators, all of the flow meters, all of the sensors, controls, and everything that comes with it comes in one complete package. And then we can add, we can take away and customize this as we need, as we see fit, again, based on the particular design and the client. From an air handling standpoint, I'd love the opportunity to be able to provide this whole package from an air handler, ERU, and a custom energy loop, but we know that that's not always realistic. But the energy recovery coils that come as part of this package, we provide as well. So in a case of a preheat, pre-cool situation, and then a reheat coil in our air handling unit, we would provide these coils shipped loose to the air handling unit manufacturer of your choice. And then they would be able to install them from there, and we'd complete the piping once everything was installed. And then the same with the ERU. So this would be our exhaust heat recovery coil that would be in our energy recovery box, and then going out and exhausting out to our lab fan systems and all that. All the control valves, the energy valves, everything that comes with it, that's all part of the custom energy loop package, all of those ship loose. We have a really nice submittal on everything that ships loose and what needs to be field installed, what needs to be field mounted, what we can install at the factory, and so on. So looking at a couple of examples just to give you an idea of what we've got. This is a project that we did last year in Boston. I would call this a one for one. Very easily skid, not a ton to it, couple of pumps, just the basics as I would call it. But this, looking to simplify it a little bit, we've got our energy recovery coil at the top and our air handling unit coils at the bottom. Now, with this being just a one for one, what do I mean by that? Basically is that you've got your energy recovery coil up here and you've got your preheat and your preheat coil down here in your air handling unit. So we're literally just running from our exhaust through our pump skid into our box and then back through to the ERU. Now, what a lot of people don't think of when they're looking at an energy recovery or they're thinking about exhaust, we actually use this a lot more in the summertime than we do in the winter. You're going to get benefits of both. And again, it's going to be all about that particular project, your temperatures, what we're looking to meet, but you're going to see a couple of examples here of how we utilize it more in the summer than we actually do in the winter. And looking at what you can do in this case, just to take a little bit off of your chill water coil. In this case, we had 9 degrees going into our chill water coil just off of our preheat. And then in the summer, or I'm sorry, in the wintertime, you're taking the worst case scenario day of a 0 degree day in the New England area. And with 48-degree entering water, almost 49-degree coming into our coil, we're getting a 33-degree temperature rise. And in most cases with this one, this was worst case day on a typical, like 20 to 30 degree, maybe 40-degree early spring afternoon. We're providing all of the heating that they need for this particular space with just the energy recovery loop alone. So what we're showing here is worst case, and some of the stuff you'll see later on is some of that trending data that we can see and how we can provide what you need for your project. This particular one is a little bit more of what I would call a standard playbook for what we do. This particular project for a university in the Southeast was 3 buildings. Each building had that 3 setup that I showed you before, which is the air handling unit, the exhaust, and the skid that was provided for each building. This was the look of the BOD layout and where they started. And you can see from the pictures that I'll show you and the layout that we've got to this particular manufacturer had 3 separate skids, one that's got a sensor skid, one that's got the main pump package, and then they had the heat exchanger package over on the right. And the reason they did that is, well, this is what they build. This is what they provide as a catalog piece of equipment. And they say, here's what we can do. We can package these together. All you got to do is bolt all these together in the field and you do all this. And it's kind of a pain when it comes to just a single point connection. You bring an A to B and B to C and providing everything you need in one package instead of settling for what somebody else might offer. So this would be, again, that schematic loop. You've got your skid out in the middle with your heat exchangers that we use in the wintertime. You've got your energy recovery unit down at the bottom, and then your typical air handling unit here. All of the 3D renderings that come with, these are not provided just during the submittal phase. We use these and provide these during the BOD opportunities that we get and the opportunities to work with our engineers and our clients in the schematic phase and the design development phase all the way up through construction drawings. So everything that you see from Revit models to 3D layouts to schematics and all that, we'll work with you and your team all the way through the process. We don't come in at the end and say, well, we'll do this once we get moving. No, we want to work with you early on to provide that information. One of the other unique things that we do, and this is the summer layout, which I mentioned, we use probably more than, or I think we get more out of this than we do in the winter. One of the unique things that we do is we actually run what we recover from our exhaust unit through our reheat coil first. So in this case, looking at a 95-degree day, not only are we taking off, we're taking off load off of our chilled water coil and load off of our chillers by just getting preheat or pre-cool from 95 down to 78. We're also getting free reheat and going from 47 degrees saturated up to our 57-degree leaving air temp by running that through the reheat first and then taking our leaving water at 72 degrees back through into our preheat, or in this case, our pre-cool, and then running that back through the loop and through the system. So by doing that and not just dumping everything into here, we don't need reheat that we have to add back into this to meet our set point. We can run all of that with the same system. In the wintertime, very similar setup. And again, this is more of a worst case type scenario here in the southeast where we've got 15 degrees coming in. Most of the time, this reheat coil is turned off, and you're going to get that 15 to 57 degree set point with just this coil alone, based on what we're going to run through here. And then depending on the day and what we need, if we do have to inject some supplemental heat into that via heat exchanger, in this case, we're showing, again, worst case where we're taking 55-degree water and bumping it up to 72 to dump that into our system. But again, that's a worst case scenario, and not most of the time you can fit what you need out of just that. I mentioned the custom nature of the skids and what we can do. I like this picture down here at the bottom. It just shows we've got everything all on one skid, but in this case, where this one was going, we needed concrete inertia bases for the pumps. We poured those at the factory and sent those out. Again, fully nice, clean control package, all done in the factory. This big HMI screen that you can watch Sunday Ticket on. It's a monster, but you get all of your trending data and all of your info right on that. But again, just a nice, clean package for your customer. This is our control cabinet and VFD package. Again, that's pretty common and typical with everything that we do. This is one of the custom displays that you get not only right at the skid on that big screen, but you can also get via the BMS. So you get your live, up to date and as it's happening data, not only with your AHUs, but what's happening at your skid, what you're exhausting. And then from there, starting to get your trending data. What are we getting? What are we actually recovering? What are we getting from our loop on a 15-degree day? What are we seeing in the springtime? What are we getting in the summer versus the winter? And basically showing you, here's what we're getting from our math and what we're telling you you're going to get from your efficiencies, and then meeting that. So when I tell you that we're getting, 80 to 85, close to 90% on our efficiencies, we have the data to back that up in real time and in trending, that you can see that with your customer as this equipment is working. And again, these are all options that you can see right at the skid. You can go through the HMI and find all this data, but it's also via the BMS as well. And part of this package that we provide from Custom Energy Loop, we also do all of the startup. We can do all of the login stuff. We can jump in and look at it with you and work through it remotely, so we don't have to come all the way out there to see it. We can work with this with you live, so you don't have any downtime and getting what you designed and what you paid for. Just a couple of psych charts here. We do some with some humidifier applications on occasion. I won't spend too much time on those, but that is the quick 12-minute version of Custom Energy Loop. Nick, I hope I did you pretty well there. That was the fastest presentation I've ever done, so that was good.
There you go. We keep them short and sweet, and obviously there's a ton more we can kind of get into with this product. So if you have any questions, please reach out to your respective sales engineer, and they'd be happy to kind of run you through the product and its application. And as always, we have our prize giveaway. And don't forget to join us next week, where Jordan Weiss will be going through the Condor Echo Pro selection tool. Thanks, everyone, for joining. Hope you guys have a great day. Thank you.
Thanks, guys.